For 15 years, old Miguel worked the night shift as building superintendent. Tenants barely noticed him fixing leaky pipes and mopping lobby floors. He seemed like just another invisible maintenance worker in their Upper East Side apartment building. Until armed intruders targeted the senator's wife living on the 12th floor, and Miguel's movements revealed training from 25 years protecting 3 different presidents as Secret Service presidential detail. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before we begin this incredible story of a superintendent whose quiet dedication once protected the most powerful people in the world, tell me in the comments where you're watching from today. And if you believe that true guardians often work in the shadows, hit that subscribe button and help us honor those who never stop protecting others. Miguel Santos arrived at 845 Park Avenue every evening at 11 p.m. sharp. At 67, he had been the night superintendent for 15 years, maintaining one of Manhattan's most exclusive apartment buildings. The residents barely acknowledged his existence. He was just part of the building's infrastructure. Miguel's routine never varied. Lock front doors, check security cameras, inspect each floor methodically. He moved through the building with quiet efficiency, fixing whatever needed attention. A leaky faucet burned out hallway lights, adjusting the lobby thermostat. The tenants saw him as a simple maintenance worker who spoke broken English and kept to himself. Mrs. Hamilton from the penthouse would barely glance up when filing complaints. Dr. Chen from the 7th floor treated him like furniture. Even the doorman considered Miguel invisible service staff. "Miguel," said Jennifer Walsh, the property manager, "some residents say you're too old for night shifts. Maybe consider retirement." Miguel nodded politely. "I worked nights 15 years, building safe at night." What Jennifer and residents didn't know was that Miguel Santos had been Special Agent Miguel Santos, United States Secret Service. He had protected Presidents Reagan, Bush Sr., and Clinton. He had taken a bullet in 1987. He had neutralized 3 assassination attempts that never made the news. Miguel chose this job because it offered the same thing he'd provided presidents: security through invisibility. At night, when the building was most vulnerable, he was the silent guardian, ensuring everyone slept safely. But Miguel's training went deeper than maintenance. His eyes automatically tracked movement patterns, identified threats, memorized visitor faces. He knew which apartments had disputes, which residents kept unusual hours, which deliveries arrived at suspicious times. Young Tommy Rodriguez, who worked part-time in building maintenance, noticed Miguel's unusual skills. "Mr. Santos, you always know when something's wrong before anyone else, like when Mrs. Chen's apartment was being burglarized. You caught the guy before he took anything." Miguel continued checking fire extinguishers. "Experience, Tommy. You watch, you learn." Tommy didn't understand that Miguel's experience included 25 years of threat assessment at the highest government levels, reading body language, detecting surveillance, identifying weapons, skills that translated perfectly to building security. Dr. Sarah Kim from 12B had also noticed something unusual. As a psychiatrist, she observed behavior, and Miguel's patterns didn't match a typical maintenance worker. "Miguel always seems to know where everyone is. Have you noticed how he positions himself? He can see all building entrances from wherever he's working." What Dr. Kim observed was tactical positioning, fundamental skills Miguel learned during presidential details. Always maintain visual contact with threat vectors, always position for rapid response. For 15 years, Miguel maintained perfect cover. He was invisible, reliable, completely underestimated, the perfect guardian for people who never knew they needed protecting. But when true danger finally arrived at 845 Park Avenue, the building's invisible superintendent would become visible in ways that would shock everyone. The first sign of trouble came on a Tuesday evening. Miguel noticed a man in an expensive suit lingering outside, ostensibly reading newspaper, but actually conducting surveillance. The man's positioning, timing, and behavior triggered every alarm in Miguel's trained mind. Miguel had seen this pattern before, reconnaissance for a high-value target. Someone was planning something, and 845 Park Avenue was in their crosshairs. The building housed several potential targets. Senator Patricia Williams lived on the 12th floor. Federal Judge Robert Chen occupied the penthouse. Dr. Elizabeth Morrison, who worked for State Department, lived on the 8th floor. Miguel began counter-surveillance without changing routine. He noted license plates, memorized suspicious faces, documented timing patterns. "Tommy, you see man outside yesterday? Dark suit, reading paper?" Tommy glanced toward lobby windows. "No, Mr. Santos. Should I have?" "Maybe nothing." "But you watch, yes? Something feel wrong, you tell me?" Over the next week, Miguel identified a full surveillance team. Different people, different positions, all focused on the building. Professional-level reconnaissance indicating serious criminal intent. Miguel's Secret Service training kicked into high gear. He began discreet security assessments of building vulnerabilities. Service elevator provided unsecured access to upper floors. Parking garage had multiple blind spots. Roof access was protected only by standard door lock. Most concerning, Miguel realized none of the residents understood they were living in a target-rich environment. Their security awareness was non-existent. "Mrs. Williams, maybe you change routine little bit. Different time leaving, different door." Mrs. Williams looked annoyed. "Miguel, I don't understand what you're asking." Miguel's limited English made it difficult to explain threat assessment without revealing his background. "Just be careful. Watch around you." Mrs. Williams dismissed his concern as confused worry of aging maintenance worker. She had no idea she was talking to someone who had spent decades keeping people like her alive. The surveillance intensified. Miguel identified at least 6 operatives conducting systematic reconnaissance. Vehicle plates traced to fake registrations. Communication patterns indicated coordinated operation planned for near future. Miguel made a decision that would change everything. He placed a call to a number he hadn't used in 15 years. "Agent Morrison, Secret Service Intelligence Division." "Morrison, this is Santos, Miguel Santos, badge number 4471. Silence. "Jesus, Miguel, where have you been for 15 years? "Working. Listen, I need threat assessment on current residents at 845 Park Avenue. Possible imminent action against federal officials." Within 2 hours, Miguel had confirmation. Senator Williams had received credible death threats. Judge Chen had recently sentenced members of international criminal organization. Dr. Morrison had been involved in classified State Department operations. The building wasn't just being surveilled, it was being prepared for coordinated assault on multiple high-value targets. Miguel realized his quiet retirement was about to end violently. Thursday night started normally. Miguel locked the building at 11 p.m., checked cameras, began rounds. But his trained eye immediately noticed something different. Street traffic patterns had changed. 2 vehicles were positioned with clear sightlines to building entrances. Most telling, the surveillance team had disappeared, replaced by operatives in tactical positions. Miguel's Secret Service training told him surveillance teams withdraw just before action teams move in. At 11:47 p.m., Miguel spotted the first infiltrator in the parking garage. The man was dressed like delivery worker, but his movement patterns and equipment indicated military training. Miguel counted at least 3 others entering through different access points. Miguel immediately understood the operational plan. Multiple entry points, coordinated timing, professional execution. This wasn't simple burglary. This was precision assault on federal targets. Moving with silent efficiency that had once protected presidents, Miguel activated emergency protocols. He triggered silent alarms that would alert law enforcement, but response time would be 8 minutes. The assault team would finish in 5. Miguel's radio crackled with Tommy's nervous voice from security desk. "Mr. Santos, I'm seeing movement on cameras. Multiple people who aren't supposed to be here." "Tommy, listen carefully. Call 911. Tell them armed intruders, federal targets, request immediate tactical response. Then go to basement security room and lock door." "Mr. Santos, what's happening?" "Tommy, do exactly what I say. Lives depend on it." Miguel switched his radio to frequency he'd memorized but never used. Secret Service Emergency Communications. "This is former Agent Santos, badge 4471, requesting immediate assistance at 845 Park Avenue. Multiple federal protectees under assault by organized team. I am engaging." Miguel felt 15 years of peaceful retirement disappear as protective instincts took complete control. He wasn't the building superintendent anymore. He was Special Agent Miguel Santos, and he had a job to do. The first attacker reached the 12th floor where Senator Williams lived. Miguel intercepted him at elevator bank, moving with speed and precision that would have amazed tenants who thought he was just slow old maintenance worker. The confrontation lasted 12 seconds. Miguel disarmed the intruder using techniques learned, protecting world leaders, secured his weapon, and neutralized the threat with minimal noise. "Building secured, level 12, Miguel whispered into radio, falling back into Secret Service communication protocols he hadn't used in 15 years. But there were still 3 more attackers in the building, and Miguel was no longer invisible superintendent. He was the last line of defense between trained killers and people he'd sworn to protect. Miguel moved through the building with tactical precision that transformed him from invisible maintenance worker into elite protective agent. His radio crackled with updates from Tommy monitoring security cameras. "Mr. Santos, there's one heading to penthouse, one going to 8th floor, and another still in parking garage." "Copy," Miguel replied, his voice carrying calm authority of someone who had coordinated protection details for the most powerful people in the world. Miguel's first priority was Senator Williams on the 12th floor. Using master key and building layout knowledge, he reached her apartment before the second attacker. The senator's family was asleep, completely unaware their lives were in immediate danger. Miguel positioned himself in hallway outside their door, using tactical positioning learned during White House duty. When the attacker emerged from stairwell, Miguel was ready. The encounter was swift and professional. Miguel disarmed the threat using Secret Service hand-to-hand combat techniques, secured the weapon, and ensured the attacker could not continue assault. "Mr. Santos?" Senator Williams opened her door, awakened by commotion. She stared in shock at Miguel standing over unconscious man in tactical gear. "Senator, please return to your apartment and secure the door. Federal agents are responding to credible threat against your life." Senator Williams stared at Miguel, the building superintendent she'd barely acknowledged for 15 years, speaking with professional authority and demonstrating combat skills she couldn't have imagined. "Miguel, how do you... Hey, ma'am, I'm former Secret Service. Right now, I need you to follow protection protocols, stay away from windows, secure your family and interior bathroom, and wait for official law enforcement." Senator Williams realized the invisible maintenance worker had just saved her life with impossible skills. Miguel's radio buzzed with Tommy's update. "Mr. Santos, one is in Judge Chen's apartment. I can see on camera he has a gun." Miguel moved to penthouse level with speed that defied his 67 years. His Secret Service training included rapid response techniques for multi-target scenarios, and those skills were now the only thing standing between innocent families and trained killers. Using service elevator, Miguel prepared for the most challenging confrontation. The attacker was already inside with federal judge and his family. Miguel approached apartment with same tactical methodology used during White House security breaches. Assess situation, identify threat positions, neutralize with minimal risk to protectees. Using master key, Miguel entered apartment silently. He could hear voices from living room, the attacker demanding information from Judge Chen about recent court cases. Miguel moved through apartment with ghost-like stealth that had made him legendary among Secret Service agents. He positioned himself for optimal tactical advantage, then made his presence known in a way that immediately shifted power dynamic. "Federal agent," Miguel announced, voice carrying absolute authority. "Release the family and surrender your weapon." The attacker spun toward Miguel, weapon raised but froze when he saw someone who clearly possessed professional tactical training. "Drop the weapon now," Miguel commanded, his own service pistol, kept hidden in building for 15 years, now steady in experienced hands. For the first time in 15 years, Miguel Santos was no longer invisible. He was exactly what he'd always been, a protector. The lobby filled with federal agents, NYPD tactical units, and emergency responders. What had been quiet residential building became center of major federal investigation. But the biggest shock wasn't the armed assault, it was learning the true identity of their building superintendent. Senator Williams stood in lobby, still processing what happened. "Agent Morrison, I need to understand. Miguel, our building superintendent, just saved my life using combat skills I've never seen outside military operations. Special Agent Lisa Morrison, who had arrived to coordinate federal response, checked her tablet. Ma'am, Miguel Santos was one of Secret Service's most decorated agents. 25 years protecting presidential details. He took bullet for President Reagan, neutralized assassination attempts, served on President Clinton's detail until retirement. Retirement? Judge Chen joined the conversation. He's been working as our building superintendent for 15 years. That was perfect cover. Agent Santos always preferred to work invisibly. Tommy emerged from basement security room, still shaken. Mr. Santos, I don't understand. You've been teaching me building maintenance, but you're really federal agent? Miguel, surrounded by former colleagues, looked at the young man. Tommy, I'm building maintenance for 15 years. Before that, I was other things. Dr. Kim approached Miguel with newfound understanding. All this time, you've been conducting security assessments, haven't you? The way you position yourself, how you watch people. You've been protecting us without us knowing. Miguel nodded. Old habits. Once you protect people, you always protect people. Agent Morrison addressed growing crowd of residents. Miguel's actions tonight prevented coordinated assassination attempt against 3 federal officials. Intelligence community has been tracking this organization for months. Mrs. Hamilton from Penthouse, who had always treated Miguel with casual dismissal, stepped forward. Miguel, I owe you an apology. We all do. We never knew. You were not supposed to know. Best protection is protection you don't see. Detective Mike Walsh, who responded to initial 911 call, was reviewing scene with amazement. Miguel, the way you neutralized 4 trained operatives while protecting multiple families, that's presidential-level protection. Miguel looked around at residents who were seeing him clearly for the first time in 15 years. I came here for quiet life, but sometimes quiet life means making sure other people stay safe. Agent Morrison pulled Miguel aside. Miguel, we could use you back. Consulting, training, threat assessment. Miguel shook his head. I have job. Building needs superintendent. These people need protection. Tommy looked at Miguel with new respect. Mr. Santos, will you teach me? Not just building maintenance, but the other things? Miguel smiled. Tommy, first you learn to fix pipes and change light bulbs. Then maybe I teach you to watch for things that don't belong. As federal agents completed investigation, residents began to understand their invisible superintendent had been their guardian all along. The man they'd barely noticed had been silently ensuring their safety, with skills developed protecting the most important people in the world. 3 days later, life at 845 Park Avenue had returned to normal, but everything was different. Residents now looked at Miguel with respect and gratitude that made him uncomfortable. He preferred being invisible. Senator Williams approached Miguel during evening rounds. Miguel, I spoke with Secret Service Director. They want to offer you consultant position, working with current protection details. Miguel continued checking fire safety equipment. I have job, Senator. Building needs night supervisor. But your skills, your experience, you could be training next generation of agents. Miguel paused and looked at the woman whose life he'd saved. Senator, you know what I learned protecting 3 presidents? Most important protection happens when nobody watching. I protect this building 15 years, not because government pay me, because protection is what I do. Dr. Chen approached as well. Miguel, why did you choose this building? Was it random or did you know about federal residents? Miguel smiled. I choose building because good people live here. Federal judge, senator, State Department. You serve country. I serve you. Tommy, who had been following Miguel's rounds with new intensity, asked the question bothering him. Mr. Santos, when those men came, you changed completely, like you became a different person. Miguel stopped his work. Tommy, I never change. I always same person. You just see different part. Will you teach me that part too? Miguel considered carefully. Protection is not about fighting, Tommy. Protection is about watching, thinking, preventing. You want to learn? Tommy nodded eagerly. Okay, First lesson. Tell me what you notice about Mrs. Chen when she comes home from work. Tommy thought. She gets home around 6 p.m., takes elevator to 7, carries briefcase. Good. What else? She always checks her mail, even though she gets it delivered to office. Miguel nodded approvingly. Why you think she do that? Because she's checking if anyone else has been near her mailbox? Exactly. Dr. Chen has security awareness. This is first lesson. Protection starts with awareness. A month later, Agent Morrison visited Miguel. Miguel, I have to ask one more time. The service really could use your expertise. Miguel was fixing leaky faucet. Agent Morrison, how many federal officials live in this building? 3 confirmed, possibly more. And how many people walk past this building every day who might want to hurt them? Thousands. So you tell me, where I'm most useful? Training center in Virginia or right here, making sure nothing bad happened to people who serve country? Agent Morrison realized Miguel had found perfect application for his skills. He wasn't just building superintendent, he was strategic asset positioned exactly where he could do most good. Miguel returned to his quiet routine, but now everyone understood their building's night guardian was someone special. Some protectors wear suits and sunglasses, others carry mop buckets and fix elevators. But the best protectors are the ones you never see coming. Miguel Santos, building superintendent and guardian, preferred it that way.